knowing I walk in and that's when I learn. That's when I find out. Good evening. Welcome to this regularly scheduled meeting of the Hartford City Plan Commission. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And let's discuss our minutes from our September 9th meeting. Any questions, additions, corrections?
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Dave.
I'll second.
Second there. All in favor? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is our moment for appearances. Any appearances that anybody would like to come and appear before they have 3 minutes. This is the time to do it. Any appearances? Second time through. Yes.
Will there be appearances right before, like a particular item, or should we do that now?
In the hearing. Do it now.
There's a
During the hearing?
During the hearing there will be, yeah.
During the hearing there will be. So, third and final call, appearances. None being seen. We move on to item 4, which is the public hearing for a conditional use permit to allow a wine bar at 100 North Main Street. I'd like to open the hearing and a reading of the public notice, please.
Notice of public hearing, City of Hartford Plan Commission. Please take notice that a public hearing will be held at 5:30 p.m. or thereafter on October 14th, 2024 in the Common Council Chambers at the lower level of City Hall, 109 North Main Street by the City of Hartford Plan Commission to consider the following. A request for a conditional use that has been filed by Sonia Hannaran to allow a wine bar at the property located at 100 North Main Street, tax key number 36-2102-002-050, Zone B3, General Business. Section 13.0404 of the Municipal Code states that following a public hearing and after careful consideration, the Plan Commission may grant the conditional use permit as applied for, grant the conditional use permit with conditions deemed appropriate, or deny the permit. A map of the parcel and proposed rendering can be viewed in the Planning and Zoning Office by appointment, 109 North Main Street, Monday through Friday between the hours of 7:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. The purpose of said hearing is to hear those persons who wish to express their opinion for or against the granting of this conditional use permit. Dated this, the 27th day of September 2024, Shanna Kreilkamp, City Clerk, City of Hartford.
Thank you, Jacob. Okay, at this time, are there any appearances in favor of this conditional use? If there are, please come up to the podium, state your name, full address, and you will have 3 minutes to appear in favor. Thank you.
Thanks. My name is Sonia Hanrahan. I'm the owner of Oscar's Wine Bar, hopefully. I live at 117 South 8th Avenue in West Bend. And the reason that I settled on this location was because I thought that it had beautiful foot traffic and it would be an asset to the community. I'm not looking to have a wild, crazy wine bar. Been there, done that. I've been in the wine and spirits industry for about 10 years. As a distributor, I run an import company specializing in imports from the country of Luxembourg. So my knowledge of wine, I would say, is very deep, and I'm very passionate about it. I'm looking at being an asset to the community by having wine tastings, various events like that, date night, kind of not a quiet place, but I'm not looking to have crazy bands, more like a jazz piano. So I think that it would be good for the neighborhood. It's not a super residential area. My landlord, Danny, did mention it to prospective tenants, so anybody that lives above is aware of what the space is hopefully going to be, and I guess that's it. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Sonia. Anyone else? Appearances in favor? Please state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes, please. Thank you.
Hello, I am Danny Dulac, owner of Second Chance Ventures. My address is 1505 Greenway Terrace in Elm Grove. I am the landlord and owner of Second Chance Ventures, and while I have that vested interest, also wanted to give you a little bit of background of what I dug into, because I also have a personal interest of my other residential tenants above and other tenants, commercial, and just being a good member of the community. As Sonia had mentioned, this isn't a wild rocking bar, although I hope a very successful one. I have actually had a couple of new tenants move in just above. So these are people that are aware of the type of hours that she plans to keep. So I don't think this is the type of establishment that will be spilling out huge crowds at 2 o'clock in the morning type of thing, because not only would that be bad for the city, but bad for my own personal interest and other tenants. So I feel like there's a need in the community. I think it would be a great asset to the community, and Sonia has already stepped up and done a couple of things with organizations, so I think she'll be a great addition, and I very much support this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dulac. Anyone else in favor, making an appearance in favor of? Third time in favor of. Any appearances in opposition? First call. Appearances in opposition? Any appearances in opposition? There being none, I, at this point, would like to close the hearing and have discussion by the Plan Commission. Is there any discussion in regards to this conditional use permit?
Other than I think it'd be great for downtown.
I agree.
Awesome addition. I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Joe to approve, second, Brian. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to discussion and consideration. Oops, did I do this officially? Yes, I did. Okay, sorry. Number 5, discussion and consideration for the sale of Well 13 and Airport Road substation properties.
Good evening. So both the water utility and Hartford Electric own properties that are no longer needed. We're proposing to sell these properties to reduce our liability and risk, and also to generate a little bit of revenue for the utility. Since both of the properties are owned by the city, state statute requires that the Plan Commission make a recommendation to the Common Council before any city-owned land can be sold. Both properties have been advertised for sale through the West Bend Daily News, as well as city and utility websites and social media. And so far, we've received interest in both. We have a bid opening that's scheduled for November 5th. That will take place at the utility building, and I'm aiming to make a recommendation to sell both properties to the Common Council on the 12th of November. So the first property is Well 13. That's located in the yellow triangular area here. It's located on the east side of Hartford, north of Highway 60. And it's kind of nestled between the gun club and the railroad tracks, yellow triangular area. We have an 8-inch water main that goes to the property also. That's been disconnected at the well house. There's a hydrant that's active there yet, but everything in the well house has been disconnected, so the property is really no longer needed by the utility. We have access to the property through an easement by the gun club. The city attorney is reviewing the access to see if it's a recorded easement or not. And then anybody that makes a bid on this property would make a contingent upon having access to the site.
Is that the railroad that's on the,
Yeah, the railroad tracks, they kind of run across the top side. So a majority of the land is in the floodplain, and a majority of the land is also in a wetland. So there's not very much buildable land back there. So I thought I'd show you a couple pictures of the property. This is the gated entrance at the entrance of the utility-owned property, and this is the well house that's at the property here. There's a hydrant that is in this area where the pointer is, and it's been physically disconnected between the well house and the hydrant. So like I said earlier, the water main is still active up to that hydrant. And that's the liability that we have, because we have active water main, about 1,400 feet of water main going underneath the gun club's property. So there's a couple more pictures of the backside of the well house, and then this is the inside. Again, we have a physical disconnection between the wellhead and the going outside. And so just a couple reasons why we want to abandon this and get rid of the property itself. We abandoned this in 2000. The well became inactive in 2005. We have permanently abandoned it in 2009. So it's really no asset at all to the utility any longer. And like I said, we want to reduce our risk with the water main going underneath the gun club's property and then also generate some revenue. So we have 15.71 acres, estimated value is $130,000, and there's a 20 by 20 block structure on it. It's about 18 feet tall. We're investigating the easement to the site, and then utilities are available, electric only. That's through We Energies. Water, even though there's an 8-inch water main going to the property, that's size too large for one individual customer. We would have water quality complaints there very often if we served them with that. So it's really not meant for a building to be put up with one, like a toilet or a sink. So, and there's also no sanitary service available there either. So,
Can we ask a couple questions around this one, or do you want to wait?
Go ahead.
I have a question too.
So, question on it. So when we're looking at the picture, there's a bunch of stuff inside, right?
Yep.
Is all that stuff going to have to be removed, or is that going to stay in when you sell it?
as is,
As is?
yes.
Okay. Any hazardous problems, any concerns that you would have in there?
No, everything's abandoned. This is just, it's a metal apparatus. That's the diesel tank for the backup generator that we had on site previously. The generator's gone. We're using it someplace else now.
But no leaking or anything else like that? Or
No,
Okay.
in fact, I mean, if we needed to, we could probably take that tank out just to make it easier to sell. I
Okay.
guess I'd leave it up to the buyer if they wanted to have it or not, because there's no benefit to the utility any longer to have anything in there. We've scavenged everything that we could.
Oh, I'm sure.
Brian, what would happen with the water main that's running underneath the gun
It would
club's
just,
property?
it would just be abandoned in
Just
place.
abandoned that,
Yep.
okay. So I thought, but, you know,
What that means, it'll remain in the ground, or is that gonna be taken out all the way up to
It would be,
60?
it would remain in the ground.
Okay.
yeah,
It'd be too costly to remove.
right.
Got you.
So Brian, if somebody purchased this property, how would they access the property?
That
To the gun
is
club, yeah.
kind of the question at this point, is the city attorney is evaluating or checking to see if there's a recorded easement in this area here to get access to it. Right now, it's landlocked. So I know we have when I talked to the gun club, they thought that there was a handshake deal in the past. We're gonna find out if there was or wasn't. They've always been really nice to work with. We've had a great relationship with them. But we just don't know what we have there yet. If there is not a recorded easement, then that is something that they would have to take up between the gun club. I know they want to use it as a conservancy. My conversation with the gun club, they said they would allow someone to use it as hunting land, and they have if they made it a conservancy, they could do that, and they would allow access through at that point. Anything other than that, I think building like a storage unit type thing, I think they would probably kind of frown on and not allow it, so.
Especially if you're in
It's gonna be problematic to sell if that's the case. So you'd probably be looking at turning this over into a conservancy where you allow someone to hunt. Obviously, hunting isn't allowed on city property, so that might qualify for a reverse annexation back into the town. That way someone could put a private well in, have a septic system, and you'd be able to sell it, so.
Okay.
No.
And just one other question, Brian. So you said this was back in 2009. So from that point to now, has there been anything that's kind of surfaced that has kind of brought this to this point, or is it just a review on a regular basis and it's time to deal with it?
It's time to deal with it. We've kind of held on to it. There's no value to it, and it's kind of just, it's been on the books, and it's time to get it off and see if we can generate some revenue with it now.
Okay, thank you.
So that's all the questions that you want
Any
me to do both,
questions
by the
any other questions on the well?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
We can move on to the the other
the other one is
one
the-
then?
That one's a little bit simpler, airport substation. So this is located just a little bit south of Cleveland Avenue, about 350 feet south of, or adjacent to Brown Newtown's parking lot on Airport Drive. Oh, there we go. So that's an aerial view from Google. And so just a couple pictures of the site. We're abandoning this site because we did a long-term voltage conversion project in the area, probably over the last 4 or 5 years. So with that project being complete, the substation is no longer needed. So we've been taking out all of the above-ground apparatuses, all the transformers, voltage regulators, things like that. The structure will be removed before we sell. So whoever buys the property will just have a slab of concrete and some gravel. We'll leave the fence up for them because they might have some value in that. Otherwise, it'll just be a flat site. What's going on there? All right, here we go. So just a couple side views on the back side. It's close to some, like a water pond or something there. And there's a ditch area here where if the new owner wants to have access off Airport Road, or if they can get access through Brown Newtown through an agreement with them, they can do either one. So this is a 2.3 acres parcel. Estimated value is $30,000, and there's no structures on this. And there are utilities available, everything except for sanitary sewer, which is available up at Cleveland Avenue. So that is all I have for that site.
What would that be zoned as, Jacob, as far as selling?
Currently, it's zoned I1, which is institutional. If it would easily be able to rezone to manufacturing, one of the M categories, just because it's surrounded by manufacturing, so it wouldn't be a spot zoning. So it would allow for a lot of the manufacturing land uses on there. It is kind of a substandard lot for that, but again,
small.
yeah, any development would have to just meet the setbacks of that proposed subdivision or that proposed zoning district.
Is it accessible to some of the other businesses around it that might want that property for expansion or anything? Parking lot?
I've talked to both. I've emailed Brown Newtown, to see if they're dispersing it internally to see if there's interest from them. I've talked to the gun club as well, so they're both aware.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that would make more sense for someone like that to acquire it and more parking or storage within their facilities.
I
But
agree. They've both been great neighbors for us, so.
yeah,
Anything else? Any other questions? So Jacob, we're looking for consideration on this sale of these two properties?
Yes, we're under 62.23 paren 5 of the state statutes. We're looking for a recommendation to the common council for the sale of these properties. We don't approve it, but we just make a recommendation.
Okay, thank you.
Make a recommendation.
Everybody make a
my
recommendation?
recommendation is to put the sold sign on it.
I'll second.
We have a first motion by Dave,
I'll second.
second by Joe. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Okay, moving on to the discussion and consideration for an additional sign at 147 North Rural for the Shower Arts Center. Jacob?
All right, let me pull up the sign pictures here for you. Okay, so Signworks has submitted an application for an additional wall signage for the Shower Arts Center at 147 North Rural Street. The frontage of Shower Arts Center, part of the building measures 125 linear feet. The current sign measures 66 square feet, and the proposed additional sign measures 18 square feet for a total of 84 square feet. The sign is made of aluminum and has a digitally printed vinyl graphics. The sign already has a single light installed above it. No additional lighting has been requested at this time. The sign is within code requirements for size, placement, and color, so staff is looking for approval of the proposed wall sign in the Business Improvement District at the Shower Arts Center at 147 North Rural Street.
Thank you, Jacob.
Yep.
Any discussion? Joe?
No, I think that'd be nice. I know they do was it Wednesday, Thursdays down
Thursday
there,
nights.
and it really gives the idea of where I mean, not that you're not going to hear the music,
Right.
but I think it's kind of nice to have it listed. So I think it's very attractive, and I think that would look great in that area.
Yeah,
And there currently isn't a sign there now, correct?
No.
That's
No,
signage
nothing.
there at all.
That's what I
No
thought.
sign, yep.
Okay, looking for a motion then motion by Joe to approve,
I'll second.
second by Scott. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Discussion and consideration for signage at 100 North Main Street for Oscar's Wine Bar.
I was gonna blame it on Danny.
Through that.
I was gonna blame it on Danny. I've seen Danny's drawings.
Jacob,
All right, so Sonia Hannaran, owner of Oscar's Wine Bar, has submitted an application for a wall sign at 100 North Main Street, which we just approved the wine bar at. The sign requested to be placed is a sign above the entrance, which is located at a triangular area where North Main Street and East Jackson Street intersect. This corner building has more than 90 linear feet of frontage, making the proposed 9 square foot sign measure well under the allowable size. The sign is made of wood and bronze copper colored metal. It will be backlit with soft LED lights, and electrical permit will be pulled if new wiring is required. The sign is within code requirements for size, placement, and color. So the planning staff recommends approval of the proposed wall sign in the Business Improvement District, Oscar's Wine Bar at 100 North Main Street.
just curious, has there been a sign in that, at that location? But there has, okay. Yeah, all right.
It would have been nice to see some similar sign that would have looked like. What is the middle of the sign?
It's an O.
It's an O, okay, all right. I didn't know if it was like a cover of Rolling Stone. album. That's what I thought at first. I'm like, all right, no, I'm not sure. Okay, I know.
Sorry, I didn't have it when I submitted.
That's all right.
And is this at the street level, or is this,
It's above.
it's gonna be above?
Yeah,
Okay.
above the door.
I mean, the bar itself, is at
Yeah,
street level?
yeah.
It is, it's
It's
street
where the
level.
old,
In the
Silver
corner there.
Paws.
It's the corner.
Where the
Where Silver
Jackson?
Paws was in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where the stop station.
Yeah, that's,
I like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's like a metal cut.
And backlit, so the
Yeah,
white will
it's-
be backlit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks very nice.
That's very similar to what's up there. Very good, very good.
Any questions, concerns?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Scott,
I'll second, yeah.
second by
Briner.
second by Brian. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Looking for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Dave and Scott. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.